Okay. Next, question to the previous question, which is continued, is if becoming a college professor is a promising career, then which degree should I opt for? Well, my child, again, I said, never pick up a profession and try to fit in that. Any child, after having studied any of the 20 verticals which I shared with you, whether they relate to engineering, medicine, paramedical, rehabilitation, veterinary sciences, agriculture, business management, hotel management, liberal arts, law, performing arts, in each one of those verticals, there are professors, there are teachers. So you figure out what is something which you like to do the best, what are the subjects which you like to study the most. Based on that, go ahead and do your bachelor's, then do your master's, go ahead with doing a PhD in that, and then become a professor. It does not matter which subject professor you are. Any area which comes naturally and strongly to you, you will do very good in that area when you get into teaching in a college as a professor. Next question is, what is the difference between diploma and mainstream education? I think this is a beautiful question. When I say mainstream education is high on academic, low on practical application. So when you study a proper degree program, unless and until it is in the area of skill base, which could be hotel management, skill based, performing arts, skill based, design, skill based, sports, skill based, vocational studies, skill based. There are a lot of other areas in which academically children may not be that strong, but practically they may be very good. So for such children, I suggest them, do not go for a mainstream education, that is going for a bachelor's degree followed by a master's degree. Rather go for a 3-year diploma program after 10th, in which it is more practical application based, less book study based learning. So that is the primary difference between mainstream education or a skill-based education or a diploma education. Next question is, for being IT engineer, where should we go? Okay, I think I should be giving you, give me a moment. I'll give you the link of the book which you can download free of cost. So what I'm doing is, in the chat box, I am sending you few links. I'll tell you what these links are all about. Okay. So here you go. Now in this chat box, pick up the first link from where you can download the book free of cost, which I told you, which is the career handbook. Second, in the chat box, I have given you, I'll be putting up today's presentation and PPT on link on my YouTube channel. So that second link is for that. If you want to go and subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I have given a lot of answers to very simple questions which children at times get stuck with. So you can go and visit the YouTube channel, check out a lot of options which I have given you, and a lot of explanation of different verticals is given there. Every week I take up Ask Me Anything sessions. If there are any children who are unable to ask me a question today, or there is a question which later comes to your mind, fourth link is for that. For personal career counseling, if you seek more guidance, you're still confused, not clear of what to go ahead with, you can connect with my office at 7600 that number I have given with you. And I have a lot of other handbooks are there on my website. You can go look for yourself. Those all links I have shared with you. Okay. Next is, for being IT engineer, where should we go? Okay. Now answering this question, the book which I have given you, in that I have given complete list of the top engineering colleges in the country. Go look at that. Primarily in 11th, 12th, you have to take PCM. I'm sure you know about it. And after that, try to look at a college which gives you the best placement. Based on that, pick up the institution. I have given you the complete list of some top colleges. Look at that, look at the colleges available there, and you will be able to figure out answer to your question. Next question is, sir, what does it take to be in motorsports? Well, 10 years back, nobody would have expected motorsports to be a career. But believe me, yes, now it is gaining a lot of traction. Primarily, any motorsports kind of a profession, if you pick up, first thing which you must realize, it's a very expensive profession. Initially, you have to spend a lot of money till the time you prove yourself, and then you are in a position to stabilize yourself in that particular career. So if you look at motorsports, it primarily falls under the category of sports. Well, an additional knowledge of physics, additional knowledge of automobiles is always going to be of help and use to you. So if you want to be into motorsports, do something which is related to automobiles, and parallel to that, start practicing whichever motorsport you wish to carry on with. Next is, okay, last question, sir. Will becoming a professor for English literature promise me a good career anywhere around the world? Answer is, why not? If you're passionate about working, it does not matter whether you're a professor in the area of English literature, or for that matter, Hindi literature, or you are expert of Chinese language, or you're expert of French language, Spanish language. It really does not matter. Across the world, you will have enough opportunities if you are good at your own subject. You don't need to look back. So don't worry, go ahead. Next question is, if one couldn't clear NEET, on what basis will private colleges take admissions? Well, my child, in India, 100% of the MBBS colleges take admission based on NEET exam only. Till 2019, there were a few colleges like All India Institute of Medical Sciences, Delhi, JIPMER in Pondicherry, Armed Forces Medical College in Pune, which were the colleges which used to take their own separate tests. But from 2019 onwards, the Medical Council of India has clubbed these colleges as well under a single common entrance exam by the name of National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test, that is NEET. So you have to go through NEET in order to get admission into any MBBS. Well, if you score a little less in NEET, then there are 15% supernumerary seats granted by the University Grants Commission to private colleges, which you can look for, which you can find out. In those seats, private colleges may give you admission based on some extra payments. Next question is, I think I'm over with questions. There are no more questions, my kids. Please feel free. You may please ask. Okay. Next question is, which exam do we need to clear to join any college after 12th in the science stream? Well, your question is a very broad question. In science, veterinary science has a separate exam. Paramedical science is a separate exam. Medical science is a separate exam. Engineering has separate exam. Rehabilitation is a separate exam. So in the book link, which I have given you, go look at that link. You will be able to have a lot of understanding of different competitive exams, which you can give for getting into different kind of sciences. I have given a lot of information in that book related to different entrance exams. Also, in any specific area of science, if you want more knowledge or understanding, you can go to the YouTube, search out. There are two beautiful videos which I have shot, very full-length videos. One, career options after science A group, and second, career options after science B group, in which I have discussed with you plethora of options which are available to children after clearing grade 12 in the area of science. Next question is, sir, is it possible to make a career in sports at this age? My child, answer is yes. If you look at sports as a career option, the prime age is ranging between 16 to 26. This is the prime age of getting into an excellent sports career. So why not? This is the right age. If you are extremely good with any particular sport, look at your skill, connect with your coach, take feedback from your coach that do you have that strength, zeal within you to play at the national, international level. And if you get a good guidance from your coach, I'm sure you can get there. There is no looking back. Put in your 100%, and I'm sure sky is the limit for you. Any other questions? Okay, next question is, without taking mathematics, can we go in banking? Answer is yes. Any child who has done just graduation in any field can get into banking. Primarily, banking needs you to have studied mathematics only till grade 10. And also, most of the bank entrance exams ask questions in the maths section only up to grade 10. So you don't need to worry. You can get into banking without even having studied mathematics in 11th and 12th. Does CBSE have credit transfer after applying to universities? Well, in the new education policy in India, University Grants Commission, which controls the higher education in India, is starting with the credit transfer system. So if you're studying in an X university, Y course in a particular state, after first year, you want to shift to a Z university with a different, in the same course, in the second year, then there is a possibility that you take credit transfer from one university to the other university. That is being, enabled in the new education policy. Next is IT entrance exam that gives scholarship, which are still open for registration. I understand that this child who is asking me this question would have cleared grade 12 this year. Well, when you look at scholarships, still in our Indian subcontinent, there is not too much amount of need-based scholarship which is available, especially in the private universities. And also, you need to work on applications right from the middle of grade 12. So if you have already cleared grade 12, then I think it is going to be a difficult preposition. You may not be in a very strong position to get scholarship in this year. Next question is, sir, is there a course for robotics engineering? Answer is yes. There are a few engineering colleges in India who are giving degrees to children under the nomenclature of BE or BTech in robotics engineering. So that is available in India. Next question is, without maths, can we go for biotechnology? Again, answer is yes. There are a few colleges in India who give admission in biotechnology, even if you have studied the combination of physics, chemistry, and biology. If you've not studied any of these sciences, you're from a commerce background or from humanities background, then you cannot study biochemistry or biotechnology or biophysics as a course. Any other questions? I think I'm again finished with all the questions on my screen. Manjari ma'am, since you're the co-host, if there are any questions in your chat box which have come, or Anakhya ma'am, if there are any questions in your chat box, so you can please ask. Okay, another question is, can a foreign student sit for UPSC after graduating from either India itself or some other country? Primarily, for UPSC exam, there are the requirement is you have to be a citizen of India, but still, because Nepal is a friendly country to India, I believe there are certain vacancies which every year UPSC keeps for candidates from Nepal. So what I would suggest to you is go through the UPSC website, check out in the eligibility criteria. From there, you will get to know, because I am very sure that a lot of administrative services people from Nepal get training with the regular UPSC people in India. Now, whether they come through the UPSC cadre in India or through a parallel cadre in Nepal is something which you'll have to look at. I'm not very sure about that. Next question is, can we become an engineer after bachelor's degree or we need to study further? Answer is yes. If you do any branch of engineering, you by default become an engineer, and that is the engineering degree. So you specifically to become an engineer, you don't need to study further. After 4 years of Bachelor of Engineering course, you become an engineer. Next is chemistry important for aeronautical or computer? My child, answer to you is for aeronautical, yes, chemistry is important. And for computer, chemistry is not important. So even if you go for computer applications, there itself, chemistry is not going to trouble you much. So if your computers is the interest and you want to drop out of chemistry or you don't want to study chemistry forward, then it is better you go ahead with computers as a program. Next question is, are there any particular degrees or qualifications that I should have to become an attorney? Answer is yes, you need to have a degree in the area of law, that is LLB, to become an attorney. After completing UPSC prelims, is there any job opportunities? This is a beautiful question. Yes, there are a few corporates who take students in their own administrative branch and give preference to children who have cleared UPSC prelims. For example, a lot of public sector companies like ONGC, BHEL, BSNL, VSNL, these are the companies which take students who have cleared UPSC prelims. Why is pharma medical? What is pharma medical? Is it related to medical faculty? Answer is yes, it is related to medical faculty. Primarily, it may fall under either pharmacy, they call it Bachelor of Pharmacy, or Doctor of Pharmacy. Both these things are known as pharma medical. Is it possible to become a pilot after passing out from commerce stream? Well, in India, you require to have studied physics and mathematics at 12th grade level to become a pilot. So if you have studied from commerce stream, still you can become a pilot, but you must appear for mathematics and physics as external and separate exams from whichever board comfortable to you. So this passing certificate of grade 12 in mathematics and in physics is required, may not be a part of your regular 12th. So on YouTube, I have put up a video how to become a pilot. There are two ways you become a pilot. One is civil aviation, second is defense aviation. I've given the complete guideline in that video of how to become a pilot. So with commerce, piloting is possible, but you have to clear maths and physics 12th level from any board externally. I think I'm done with questions in this side. Okay, here. Okay, next question is, civil engineer. Yes, again, after doing a 4-year BTech, you can become a civil engineer. For going into computer application, we need to be good in maths. Answer is not necessary. Just to tell you, even if you are a humanities student who has not studied mathematics after 10th at all, can also become a computer engineer or be part of computer applications as a program. So maths is not compulsory, it is not required. Is NEET examination required? Those taking CBSE in Nepal for applying medical certificate in medical colleges in Nepal. My child, I may not be the right person to answer this question because I'm not very familiar with the education system of Nepal. You will have to check out with your school or maybe some medical colleges in Nepal website. You check from where you will get to know the admission process of the entrance in medical field in Nepal. Next question is different between IT and computer engineer. I think again a beautiful question. Just 15 days back, I have put up a video on YouTube where I have very categorically defined this difference. Go and check a video by the name of Career Options in the Area of Computer Sciences in India. I have explained both information technology and computer sciences, and I have given you the complete detail of the options available in engineering as well as non-engineering branch of computers available. Go ahead and check it out for yourself. Is it possible to study eco along with engineering after 12th? Well, there are no combination courses of eco with engineering. You have to study those things separately. So primarily, either you do engineering and you can do part-time, you can equip yourself with economics as a subject and vice versa. But combination degree is not available. You can't do that. Sir, can we practice law in Nepal after getting degree from India or other countries? Well, there is something which is known as the Bar Council of every country. Look at the Bar Council of Nepal. They will always have affiliation with certain colleges and certain countries whose law is quite similar to the law of the land of your country. If you do your graduation in law from those universities or colleges, then you are eligible for practicing law in Nepal. So check out the regulation of the Bar Council of Nepal, from where you will be able to get this information that which colleges are graduating from which colleges make you eligible to practice law in Nepal. For computer applications, what are the best subjects we should study? Well, the best subject for computer application is to study computer languages. You should have knowledge about the fundamentals of computers. You have to be very good at your logic. You have to be good at your analysis. That is what is primarily required to be good with computer applications. Okay. Next is, can a foreign student I have answered this question. I have answered this question. I have answered. For biotechnology, do we have to give NEET entrance exam? Answer is no. For most of the courses, biotechnology, either institutions have their own exams or primarily they depend on the engineering exams. Can you list some best medical colleges? Answer is the book which I have given you. Go to that. I have given you the top list of medical colleges. You can check it out from there. Or if you want to know a detailed or a larger list, go to my website, pick up the book related to medicine and surgery. It will give you a larger or a more number of colleges, which I think are 75 in number. You can look at that. Sir, is there any competitive exam for law? In India, there is a competitive exam after 12th known as Common Law Admission Test, CLAT, which is required to do law from India from very good college. And when I say very good college, those colleges are the national law universities known as NLUs. There are at present 24 NLUs, out of which 23 NLUs take a common law admission test known as CLAT. And there is one NLU, that is NLU Delhi, which conducts its own entrance exam known as ILET, AILET. The details of both are there in the book, which I have given you. Go through that. And in case of any confusions, connect with me. Okay. As I want to be a lawyer, but many people suggest me not to go in the field, just there is less scope. Is it right? Well, the answer to your question is scope in any field is unlimited. Depends how good professional or how knowledgeable person you are in that particular field. There is always a requirement of people who have very good knowledge in any specific field you talk about. You talk about medicine, engineering, law, design, fine arts, finance, any field you talk about. So scope is never a problem. You have to figure out, do you fit in that area in the most appropriate way? If answer is yes, go ahead with law. It's a great field and there is no looking back, provided it fits your orientation, aptitude, personality, and interest. Another beautiful question is online bachelor's degree recognized? Well, primarily not, because UGC very categorically says that there are certain masters or other opportunities which are only available to people who have done their bachelor's degree in a full-time format. Bachelor's degrees in online format and bachelor's degrees in distance learning format in certain cases may not be applicable. So check out what is your further plan of action. If the degree requirement is just to gain knowledge and then get into application, then bachelor's degree is recognized. It is equally valid. It is stamped by the University Grants Commission. But for certain master's program, to get admission in them, bachelor's in distance format or in online format may not be acceptable. Next question is, sir, as I want to be a lawyer, okay. I have answered this question. Yes, international law also has got a lot of scope. And just for your knowledge, in a country which is a smaller country in comparison to other countries, like India is also a small country, Nepal is also a small country, Burma is there, Bangladesh is there, Sri Lanka is there. In these countries, if you have the knowledge of international law, I'm sure the opportunities are much larger and wider for you. Don't look back. If law is your love, go ahead and follow it. Next question is, sir, should we have to clear JEE to take admission in engineering? Primarily, yes. Also look at DASA, because for international students, there is a direct admission also available in engineering streams in India through DASA, direct entry scheme for international students. Something is the short form is DASA. Just look at Google. I'm sure you will get to know about it. For international students, there could be a direct entry available in many engineering colleges. Next is, sir, can you share some information regarding to SAT examination in India? Well, at bachelor's level, some of the very newer universities are accepting SAT score. Otherwise, for most of the foreign nationals, many universities don't require an entrance exam at all. There will be very few which will look at entrance exam. So that will become very specific. So related to that, if you have any query, you had to connect with me on a personal basis. Sir, can we ask any question if we have question after this session? Well, I have given you a link of Ask Me Anything. Whenever I come online on YouTube in my next session, I will take up your question then. So you can go and put your question in Ask Me Anything link. I will answer your question on my YouTube live session in the next session. Don't forget to go and subscribe to the YouTube channel, because then only you will have a notification of when I'm coming online. Sir, I want to go in the sports field, but as I still don't have any coaching, my parents say there are no more chances to become a sportsman. Well, my child, this is a very tricky situation. I don't think there is anything specific which I can say in this case. Go ahead, expertise yourself, try to figure out a coach, get in touch with that particular person, and then try to play that sport. Normally, I say by the age of 16, 17, 18, if you have been able to play at district level or state level or national level, then there are beautiful chances that you may go ahead. But till that, if you have not learned any particular sport, so in that case, becoming a sportsman beyond that age, starting from an age of 16, 17, yes, is going to become a little difficult. But nothing is impossible, as I said. Try to figure out what is your state. Sir, if I study law online, will I be eligible to practice law? Answer is no. There is no law degree at bachelor's level which is available online. You cannot study law online. And even if you do so in any country, you will not be allowed to practice. Are reputed colleges in India giving options of online degree? If yes, then it is equally valid. Answer is yes. As I told you, if you want to just get into application after doing an online degree, they are equally valid. Can I write UPSC examination after studying law? Answer is yes, you can give UPSC examination after studying law. Which exam do we have to give after studying PCM for BTech? The primary exam is JEE main followed by JEE advanced. Otherwise, as I told you, look at DASA or look at the book in which I have given you a list of lot of entrance exams which you can give after 12th to get admission into engineering colleges in India. So does class 11, 12 is very important for NEET exam? See, I don't know about class. I don't want to comment on this, but 11th, 12th class subject knowledge is very important. You have to be very good with your biology. You have to be excellent with your physics. You have to be excellent with your chemistry. Then and only you can think about being very good at NEET. So that is the reason 11th, 12th class becomes important. I don't know on what parameter you are asking me class is important or not. It is important because whatever you are expected to study in these two classes is extremely important because that becomes the base of your knowledge to appear and clear NEET exam. So yes, it is. After 12th, can we give UPSC? Answer is no. UPSC eligibility is graduation. So after any graduation, you can give UPSC. You cannot give UPSC just based on 12th marks. I think again, I'm done with the questions. So children, what I'm once again going to do is, if you seek counseling, you can see on your screen, you can connect with my office. You can follow me on social media. You can punch in your questions on YouTube or Instagram. You know, there also I keep answering a lot of questions. These are the two links which I told you. One, today's PPT, I'm going to put on YouTube. The link is bit.ly/IQMohit. And if you want to ask a question, you can put it on bit.ly/AMA session. Once again, I would like to thank Manjari ma'am. I would like to thank Anakia ma'am. Over to you, ma'am, in case there is anything which you want to share. I think in this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to once again send the details to these kids if they want to connect. So here you go. So at IQ, basically, you know, if you want to prepare for any of the national level entrance exams related to law, business management, mass communication, liberal arts, economics honors, hotel management, social sciences, and so on and so forth, then, you know, you can connect. We do, you know, train international students for, you know, online for their test preparation. We had been training children from America, Canada, Australia, UAE, you know, those children specifically who want to come to India and study after 12th. So for any competitive exam, you can connect with our office. You can connect with my office on the number 9979846008 for that. And if there is any other question, as I told you, you can connect with my Anakia ma'am. Once again, thank you so much. It's indeed a great learning experience for me with the children with so many questions. And I'm sure I tried my level best to make sure that I justify, you know, answering these children. One child is asking me, what did you choose? Okay, I've got a very interesting background. My parents are both doctors. So by default, I was asked to take up, you know, science B group. I refused to take that. So they told me, if you don't want to do B group, go ahead and take A group. So I took up A group. I did my BTech from IIT Delhi. Then I went to one of my professors. He told me, go ahead and do MTech. So I gave GATE exam, took up admission in MTech, started doing my structures engineering in MTech, finished my MTech. Then one of the professors said, no, you are at a wrong place. You should not do technology. You should go for management. So I gave CAT exam, you know, went ahead, did my MBA. After MBA, I realized that this was also not something which I really wanted to do. So primarily, I wanted to get into teaching. So I was fortunate to get an opportunity to teach at some of the top colleges in the country. I taught at IIM Ahmedabad. I taught at National Institute of Design, College of Environment Planning and Technology, Gujarat National Law University, and Institute of Disaster Management. So I had been teaching at all these places, but my love, I identified my love with psychology. So today, 100% of the work which I do is of a psychologist, which I have no formal education in. So that is what is my background. So thank you so much, children. It was indeed lovely to be in touch with you. Thank you so much once again.
So I think your story was very, very interesting. I think that was your calling.
I am sure, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so thank you so much for today's session. It was very, very good. And, as a parent, in fact, even I came to know a lot of things, how we should choose a career for our child, So it was very, very informative. And thank you so much. We were so glad to have you with us today. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's indeed a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, children. One child is asking me who motivated you to do this much of studies. Well, the answer to this is because I had no other thing to do. I just kept studying. I did not have a mobile in my life, which is the biggest distraction these days. So I always tell children, if you really want to do well, throw this in the dustbin. You don't need it, except if you're attending your online classes or doing some that thing. Rest, everything what you do on mobile is a complete waste of time, is complete waste of life, is complete waste of energy. Don't do that. Primary age of learning is between 15 to 25 years of age. And within that frame, every minute which you're doing, you must be learning something. If you're doing anything which is not giving you a learning, is wastage of time. Whether it is playing video games or it is watching TV. I'm not saying stop relaxing. You may play a sport, you may watch a TV, you may play a video game, but for relaxation, that may not go for more than 30 minutes to 1 hour a day. But if you tell me that you're spending 10 hours in a day playing video game, 5 hours a day watching Netflix series, 7 hours a day playing football, that is something which is complete wastage of time. Don't do that. God bless you once again. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. And so we'll end the program here. Thank you once again. Thank you so much.